What is going on, everybody? We're back on it. Berserk, Manga, chapters 138, 139. I think this will be Monday's upload. Came off of last chapter, we got a lot of Casca on screen, but then also didn't really get anything of Casca. I'm guessing that's to assume, or I guess what they showed of her is to assume that nothing has essentially changed in the last 2 years. I kind of attributed it to, like, 2 years ago she was like just super skittish, very trigger afraid of any like sudden movements, yelling, anything, just instant, just curl up. Now she's just more like just a kid, just gonna walk around, poke her head in, mess around, doesn't know the seriousness of things, might laugh at things, cry at things, touch things, like that type of thing. I'm really curious if that'll improve, and I guess what will it take for that to improve? Even if she gets back to a speaking level is asking a lot. So we had a little bit of that. We got introduced to that character. I forget the girl's name that's kind of taking her in. She kind of has like the underground young girl prostitute ring type thing, where she's trying to help these young girls, and they do what they can to get by. I guess you could say she's almost like a Griffith to them, and then we caught up with Farnese and the others at the end. We'll see what Mozgus or whatever the hell his ass has to say, and we'll go from there. Make sure this is on. This is on. Good. Mic's on. You guys should be able to see this. Cool. Alright, chapter 138. Conviction arc, birth ceremony. Oh, and this is another thing that I want. I just get one good time. Somebody, just one good solid paragraph or two to explain to me what actually is that child incubus figure that presents itself to Casca, that presents itself to Guts. What is it? What does it do? What does it not do? What is it capable of? What is it not capable of? So it wasn't killed. And then this is my follow-up question. So all demons that are left out caught in the sun, they don't die when the sun comes up? They just instantly just suck back into the void or something like that? Or is that just specific to the child of theirs? Because it seems to just appear, and I guess again, we don't really get much on the demonic level, so I don't know like the parameters of like what they can and can't do, but I'm guessing this is clearly a different case. But it's their child also mixed with not even apostle, God hand DNA. So who knows what it can and can't do, but it looks like it presents itself to Casca to protect her, but then how is it protecting her? Do the demons go for the incubus instead of her? Do they see the incubus and then don't go for her because they sense a God hand within it? I don't know, and I don't know what it is, what it does, what it can and can't do, alive, not alive, how it knows where she is and how to show up and what to do and when to do. Who knows? Regardless, though, let's go ahead and do it. Good, good, good. All right, cool. And it looks like he has a thing for people with physical deformities, which I'm guessing we're gonna find out what his is as well. So let's see. What it is. Prostration. Father Mozgus repeats it morning and night 1,000 times. Oh. As far as I know, in the past 10 years, Father Mozgus has not missed one day of throwing himself down in the prayer of God. So this is the secret behind that face. He seems to have finished. Father Mozgus. Ah, yes, Miss Farnese. Father, you are bleeding. Please pardon me. I failed to notice as I hardly feel my legs. It's said that a sage once imprisoned in this tower by Supreme King Berserk continued to proclaim the sins of the king to God in the midst of every possible torture until in time an angel was made to descend. Surely this holy ground has miraculous virtue. Must also fill worship with power. Thank you. I'm trying to feel like and I don't know if we'll get it. What is it that's kind of making What's making Mozgus tick in here? Is he truly what he's presenting to be? Like, he believes his words. He believes that he has to do this torturing. Like, you know, maybe he acknowledges that it's bad, but, you know, people can repent. You know, this is how you repent. You have to go through this, and then you could come out on the other side. Like, does he truly believe that? Because he definitely puts on a good show of it. Like he says, you know, Mozgus hasn't missed a day in 10 years. He does this 1,000 times day and night, yada yada. You know, he preaches what he preaches and does what he does. Or is there something within him that does this for him? For his, like, sick, twisted wants and desire? And I'm curious if we'll ever find that out. In a short time, the sensation will return along with the pain. Thanks to these injuries, I can barely walk. Running is already beyond me. But I hold this pain dear to me. My sacred duty is to enforce the strict laws of God. Sadly, this also means that I must bring much pain to others. He says it right there, sadly, so... Oh, but then in the same breath, of course I feel no guilt, but when the time comes when one chooses to live by vocation, one becomes negligent of his personal life. All the more so for one in a position such as mine. To me, these wounds are precepts, evidence of faith. Does something trouble you? Would you see fit to confess to me? I could ask the others to leave. No, that's not necessary. Would you please hear me out? Oh god, I thought she was she's not gonna talk about the night, is she? I don't think so. I don't understand. Can people really be saved through this task? Yeah, she's doubting the extremisms. That would be my follow-up question too. Those people that you keep in there, do any of them ever come out? Like, what do we? Can you show me someone that's like come out on the other side and be saved, as we're trying to say? Or even though we arrest many suspects, there is no indication at all that the priest murders will cease. The reports say the refugee attitude towards us grows malicious. And that's not all. I hate that when he's talking to her, they have him like shaded out. I'm ashamed of it, but there are more than a few even among my holy iron chain knights who speak out against our duty. Please laugh at the nonsense of my inexperience, but at this rate I wonder if all we're doing is uselessly spreading fear and impoverishing people's spirits. Ding, ding, ding. You're saying it right here. This is the quote that needs to be said. All of it looks great and it looks holy and it looks all that when you're in the position that's doing the preaching and the torturing, etc., etc. AKA God told me I had to, or he spoke to me. This is what has to be done. Yeah, but are you not on the flip? What's happening on the flip side? Do you understand what's going on out there? People are dying. There's a plague running through our country. The country is in shambles. Different keeps and strongholds and towns are emptied. Bodies are dying along the streets by the hundreds. And do we also think that rounding them up and prosecuting them at the same time is going to help? First of all, them or our image at all? I don't know. I'll be curious to see his response. Please laugh at the nonsense of it, my experience, but at this rate I wonder if all we're doing is uselessly spreading fear and impoverishing people's spirits. She gets it. And then once you chalk it up to this is God's will, what can you... how do you respond to somebody that says that? Oh, he's smiling. I shall tell you a story. Alright, hit me with something. Make it make sense. Here we go. In ancient times, there was a holy woman who practiced poverty. She pretended to be broke. Like, is that what we're saying? And devoted her entire life to the aid of others. It is said that she would seek out those dying, abandoned by the world of man without even a second glance due to poverty, disease, and the like. She would cover them with blankets, embrace them, and hold their hand like a mother so they could at least have peace when God called for them. One time she discovered, fallen by the wayside, an emancipated old man who was dying. As always, she embraced the man and grasped his hand. But this is what he said: the fact that I am lying here rotting by the wayside is proof that I have lived a proud life of solitude and independence. Please do not disgrace my sublime moment of death with your warmth. A person knows not what succeeds in helping. Perhaps it is all the more in God's hands for that. And more than anything, our actions must not use ourselves as a standard for others. Everything is within these scriptures. God, for God, and God alone do we act. That story didn't inspire me at all. And again, when someone says this, how do you you can't like rebuttal it if that's what he truly believes. Like, cause you know how when the demon took over Farnese and she kind of got this like pseudo, again, I don't know, and I don't know if we got an explanation on that. You guys might have said it. Remember when she was acting out, wanting Guts to like split her slowly with his blade and all that shit? Was it one of those things like she can visually see what's happening and she's experiencing it but has no controls over her actions? Or is she completely blind to the fact of what's happening and then she comes to like, oh my god, how am I in this position? I must have been possessed. The way she's been acting, I think there was a level of consciousness because she seems to have flashbacks to it and of the demon taking over her. So I don't know if she was actually complicit in the actions, but she at least has memories of said actions. So I don't know. Thou shalt not deplore distressing duties. Thou shalt not deplore the people's misunderstandings. Thou shalt not fear thine own death, nor the death of others. Thou shalt not seek retribution for thine actions. Thou shalt not question... Yeah. And when that gets thrown out, what can she say? And people will say, well, that's what faith is. Yeah, but whatever blood we spill in spirit or flesh, as we continue to exist devoutly for God, that is what faith is about. He said it. Whatever blood we spill in spirit or flesh. May the Lord be with you. Master, please let us return. Yes, then, let us indeed. We're going to. Somehow that was shady. A flawless argument. God, for God and God alone do we act. I don't know what she made of that. Like, what does she think of that response and everything? Who knows? There's that eyes again. Dear old lady, thank you always, Nina. Thanks to you, I'm feeling much better these days. I'm glad, but don't push yourself. This girl's over here dying of a serious, like... She's got the medicine, but... she's dying to a serious sexual disease. Oh, there she goes. Hey, stop that, Elaine. Stop, you'll get your clothes muddy. Nina? Joachim? The man's name Joachim? I ain't got time for the bullshit, Joe. We're just gonna go with Joe. I'm on break right now. If this is business, please ask another girl. No, you know, right? What shape my body's in? Is that the guy that gave it to her? Or do they actually like each other and she's more of the mindset of like, I can't, you know what's physically wrong with me, we've been over this. Or maybe you know and you still want to have me, customer. That's not what. And just have me already. I might have read that incorrect. I was just worried about you. Whatever kind words you say, I can't give you any more freebies. Don't you get it? So they actually do like each other of some kind. People are looking, this needs to stop. No, if you're really brave enough, come to the riverside tonight when the midnight bell tolls. What's up with Nina? It's too early for shouting. I'm guessing this is a guy that they actually have feelings. Hey Nina, it's nothing. Look at Casca's head poking out back here. Y'all need to watch that before Nina gets overtaken by some demonic spirits and shit. Answer me. Do you love me? Yeah, I do. Then can you lie with me? Can you die with me? This seems like a prime candidate to get taken over by a demon. Could you fall to hell if it was together with me? You're asking some serious questions here, girl. Yeah, if I'm with you... Oh gosh. That's on the house. Come on, come with me. Where to? Where scary God isn't. The edge of the world. That girl, she couldn't be. She is. Oh God. Guys, we gotta get the hell out of here. Look at them just literally circling her. I'm trying to understand this image right here. I think you guys can see this. Are Nina and Joe walking up the same path as these people? To the edge of the world? Or are Nina and Joe coming one way and these shadow figures are descending? Like, we're in trouble type things. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, okay, it looks like we're all of the same level here. I didn't know if that was like Iron Holy Chain Knights plus Mozgus doing like a night raid or something or what. I'm gonna tell you right now, these two probably die within the next chapter and a half. Just put that out there. Nina's getting a little too much screen time. This just seems like bad. This just all seems bad. Oh God, it's just a... Yeah. Yeah, this is bad. The bowels of the holy ground. Usually when, at least from my experience, when you read things that are kind of set in, I don't know, medieval times, kind of like a Game of Thrones type time period, Lord of the Rings type time period, that type of stuff. Whenever the word like the bowels of something, from my experience, it usually comes off as like sex, ground, dungeon, orgy, people drunk, high, drugs, sex, just... And the reason why this is bad is because of all this damn like witch hunting, torturing, prosecution, Mozgus running around type shit. If they stumble here, everybody here is just fucked. Actually fucked. I mean, this is a mess. This is gonna be bad. Humans cannot be boundless, without shape, free from fear and anxiety. But at the bottom of this cavern was an undulation of flesh known as sin. And they're literally, we're just out here like, we're in the middle of the night. We got a fire pyre going to the damn heavens that anybody could see from miles out. We've got horns, fucking banjos and guitars, handmade violin. People would hear this from miles away. And they're even impersonating devilish-like figure. Oh, God. Didn't we see something like this? With the Count and his wife, but it wasn't a man with a ram's head or whatever. They actually had like an actual statue. I always get that confused when we saw that. They had an actual like physical concrete statue built of something that resembled that, right? It wasn't like an actual a demonic or heavenly like figure that came down and was doing that, correct? I'm pretty sure that's right. Bro, and this is the thing, like Joe over here, and guys, you better be careful out there. Joe over here just wants to take Nina like out for a date. Like he just wants to tell her that he loves her, and he doesn't care that she has a life-crippling disease, and he loves her either way and would like to hold her hand and type shit. And she, not only is she like, it could be like, oh, come hang out with me and my whore friends, it'll be fun. She cranks that to like 50, and she's like, no, come down here to this sex dungeon bowel where it's just sin on top of sin. Is she surely in Nina and the others' line of work? I'm sure they're all aware of this area, this space. But like, do they partake? Is this where Nina's fucking getting diseased up from? Well, I mean, her line of work, it could come from anywhere. The girl's name's Luca, right? What does she think of this shit? Get your girl out of there, man. Oh god. Oh god. They're in. Nina. And Nina just left him. Nina's gotta get the hell out of there. We can't show like any of this, yada yada yada, yada yada yada. We gotta scroll through. I'm trying to read the bubbles as we can. We can't show any of this, yada yada yada. Come away, let's run together, yeah 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 yeah. Blah 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 blah. Is this a drug? Yada yada yada. Blah blah blah. Yeah, yeah. Gotta scroll. Gotta scroll. Gotta scroll. Gotta scroll. Gotta keep it moving. Tis the goddess of flame. Keep moving. Keep moving. Keep moving. A hallucination. They're mixed drugs into the cook pot. They've mixed drugs into the cook pot. Oh god, scroll, 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 scroll. I'm falling, I'm falling, I'm falling. Yada yada yada. This one isn't bad. No, Yohim. Oh great goat. I have brought this one to have him convert. What are we talking about here? And this is the kind of shit that's gonna get you. Well, first of all, Mozgas, they're snatching up anything. They don't give 3 fucks if they heard that you did this. There's a rumor that you did this. You might have did this. If we just think you look like you might have done this, they're taking your ass. But on top of that, you talking about like converting and not. I feel bad for our man here. You recite these words to defile God. Next, kiss her heart and his member. Now, this is the last part. If you drink this, you'll be one of us. What the fuck? Did he just... Again, they're hallucinating and got a bunch of shit mixtured. Is this not a prime area where, like... Evil spirit... Well, I don't... Do evil spirits only go after and approach those that have a mark? They don't just come out after rando dandos in the middle of the night, right? You've got to be marked, branded, right? I want to say that's not correct, but I guess it is because we've never seen... I'm trying to think of the instances that we've seen it, and I'm like, oh yeah, this happened. But Guts has always been there when that happened. So maybe, yeah, maybe you do. This isn't an illusion. Oh god. Is that the incubus? Or what the fuck is going on in here? Something's happening, guys. Oh god. You see what I'm saying, bro? Joe just wanted to come out, again, take the girl out for dinner, do something nice, tell her that he loves her. He's never done anything like this before. Of course he's gonna freak out. Of course he might think it's real. And her very next statement is kill him. Oh god. Did he just get He did not just get chased off the damn cliff. These women, man. Well, clearly we cannot show any of that, by the way. But when he's... This stuff that he's seeing here, you kind of see that, like, this ears, this eyes, all this type of shit. Do they have actual... Like, are they actually killing people here? Or, again, I don't know if he's freaking out. Because Luca was talking about, they've mixed drugs in with everything else. So, like, is he really seeing this? Is he really not? Are there actual, like, people here that they've, like, oh, they're going to betray us, catch them, kill them, we'll boil them down, and... I don't know. I don't know. On the other hand, though, we can't show any of that. So we'll try to see if there was a decent. What's the shot of the chapters here from the two? So speaking of all that, I'm curious why they showed us that. Like where that. Um. So we found out the answer to this. Those people, yeah, are on our side. I'm curious where. This was a pretty dope shot. The reason for that chapter there, because like Nina isn't that big of a character, and this guy got like 6 panels and was dead. And what does Luca think about that shit? Like, this is a girl you're keeping around. Like, this is, I don't know, it all seems like a mess. Is that just to show us, I mean, essentially parallel beliefs or faiths or thought processes there? And like I said, you know, they've been talking about rounding people up for all different types of reasons of X, Y, and Z, and torturing and burning people at the stake and shit. We'll kind of see how that goes. But on top of that, Casca is out and about, but I guess before she even came up on Luca and the others, was out at night by herself, at least for a handful of nights, if not more. So clearly she's got some kind of protection falling upon her, so we'll kind of wait to see. That was an interesting chapter that they kind of put in there. I'm curious to see, like, what that plays out to be. Or, like, if in chapter 140 we just move along like nothing happened, the next time we see Nina, she's just, like, taking care of Casca and shit. I'll be like, okay. I'll be curious to kind of see how that, like, comes together and plays out, but we'll see. Appreciate it, everybody. Like, share, favorite, subscribe as always.